You guys ask the questions, I answer them. Boom. It's just gonna be black coffee.
Back to the subject of telling people, dating.
Ooh.
How do you bring up this news, and when do you bring up this news?
Okay.
Because even though you've overcame, you're still very much going through it.
Oh, yes.
So it's like, how do you tell somebody this is what I'm dealing with and have dealt with, and when do you tell them? Do you tell them on the first date, the second, the third, when you married?
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up my current situation. I'm gonna bring up my current, I'm gonna bring up my situation at the time, and then I'm gonna bring up my current situation. So, situation at the time, I was talking to a guy when like I first had my biopsy and all that go on. And I remember I literally told him like the night before I had my biopsy surgery. And he didn't really ask me any questions. He was just like, all right, well, like what time do you leave the hospital? Like you gotta stay overnight. And I was like, no, you don't have to worry about it. And when I found out the results, again, I didn't tell everybody like at the same time, but I had to tell him. He knew what time my appointment was, and he kept on blowing up my phone. And so I had picked up the phone after I got out the car with my dad, and he was just like, so what's going on? And I was like, I really don't want to talk about it. He was like, well, do you want me to like come and see you? Like, where are you right now? I was like, don't you got work? Like, what you doing? That night, he came over. And I still didn't really paint the picture of cancer because I just am nervous. Like, first of all, I know how men are. They don't even know the approach. Even telling them like, oh, I'm not feeling well and something's going on with me. Like, they're like, I don't know. What? He came over and I was like, let's just go for a walk. And I told him like, okay, so I got my results back and, you know, I don't want you to freak out. But, you know, there is something there that they believe it's not supposed to be there. And I don't think I ever said cancer that night when I spoke to him.
Right.
But he was very much understanding, and it was weird because we had like just began our like relationship, so it was very fresh, and I was like, dang, like this boy thought he was getting a catch. Next thing, like he finds out this girl is actually sick. Like I had all these thoughts going through my head, and then he was really just like honestly, like I'm just very happy that you were able to be comfortable enough to tell me and to express that to me. So that was very interesting because I was very nervous about that. The guy who I'm talking to now,
who shall remain nameless.
Who shall remain nameless. He probably will be in the episode if he sticks around.
I know how you told him, but I'm gonna wait for you to.
Because
I'm gonna wait for them to find out.
I feel like always, I'm not a person that exposes all my secrets first. I'm a Scorpio. That's pretty much self-explanatory right there. I don't really wear anything on my sleeve, so a lot of things like I want for you to learn in due time. I didn't even know I was going to tell him until we just like had a conversation about like him and his football career and like how he himself had surgery behind his ear and there was a benign tumor, and I was like, maybe this is the time I can open up a little bit. It was kind of like an icebreaker thing where like we're getting to know each other. Ironically enough, we have kind of a similar story or something to share. He was very intrigued. He wanted to know so much, and again, like I don't give off that much. In the back of my head, I'm like, are you asking these questions because you're scared? Are you asking these questions because like you really want to know? And like he was so sweet about it. He really wanted to know. At the end of the conversation, he was just like, you know, like you went through radiation. Like, how was that? Like, did it hurt? Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm chilling. Like, and I tried to like skim over subjects because again, like I don't like to sit on things and like create a real awkward atmosphere. But he was like digging. Like he was like, no, like, you know, you went through all of this and you can put on the face like, you know, you're strong, but like, how are you? Like, yeah, health-wise, you're clear, 100% free of cancer, but like, how are you?
Right.
And so, you know, he's a good one, guys. But dating and telling it to the person that you're talking to is a very touchy subject. Again, my phone died. I have to do this segment separately. But to sum it all up, I told my partners pretty like early in getting to know me, and it was not planned at all. But I think that it's important to admit these things first to yourself. Like, you're going to have to realize that your diagnosis is going to be with you for the rest of your life. So why hide it? Like, be very comfortable in knowing that you went through something. You're a warrior. You conquered something that many people haven't been able to defeat, and you're freaking amazing. There's beauty behind going through your journey, and this has been a chapter of my life that I'm happy to discuss with anyone whom is interested. And I feel like that was more the vibe that I got from the guys who I've told my story to. They're more interested in knowing like the ins and outs. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, okay. Understand that your diagnosis is a chapter in your life that you're going to need to express at some point in time, because when it does come down to having children and other things like that, like, your diagnosis is going to change your course of action. And understand that it's nothing to be like inferior about. It's always going to be awkward because you're going to be mindful of how people digest your news. And that's fine. Not everybody is going to be able to understand it. And if I'm telling a guy who I'm interested in that this is what's going on in my life, and they kind of just like, ooh, I don't want to, and they're probably not man enough for you, boo-boo. They're not there for the whole ride. Like, they're not there for the course of your life. That's fine. And you move along. But I think that everyone's role is very important, and your partner's role is going to be super, super important. To hear them want to know more, it's an amazing feeling, because they want to know these things so that they know how to act accordingly. Be real with yourself, and then you can be real with others. And that would be my advice. I told my partners because I'm very comfortable in my journey, and I'm very comfortable in what I went through. Whomever, is watching, if this is you and you've gone through this journey just as I have, like, it's a beautiful thing, and like, we're amazing. Like, we're like unicorns out here. So see yourself as a unicorn walking in the faith of God and just covered in his like abundant glory, and you're victorious. So like, who wouldn't want to be associated to you? Like, that's how I see it. My confidence in telling someone about my diagnosis, like, I'm not intimidated by it. There's nothing that you could tell me that would make me question myself or what I've gone through in life, because many couldn't dare go through what I've gone through in life, and many fear what we've gone through in life. And so don't be intimidated by it. You don't have to tell them on the first date. You don't need to tell them on the second date. You don't even tell them on the third date. You don't need to tell them on the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. It could be a whole month. Like, take your time. I am all for girl talk, guy talk, whatever type of talk. Send me an email and we could discuss how we're gonna break the news to your partner. Like, listen, I'm here for it. I am not a love doctor or anything, but you could shoot me that email and I would definitely help you out. Like, why not? We're victorious and we rode the craziest roller coaster in life, and we should brag about it, kind of, honestly. So tell them. And if they do take the news well, you might want to hold on to them. But yeah, that's my last comments for this question. Thanks, wifey.